Need some ideas on how you can decorate your porch for autumn on a budget? I'm going to share some with you today. Hey everyone, it's Christina from the DIYmommy.com. I am so excited that it is crisp and cool out here. I'm in Alberta, Canada. It's already gotten to like 3 degrees at night here, Celsius, so it's quite cold. We are ready for pumpkins. I went to my local pumpkin farm and grabbed some of my favorites and created my favorite fall front porch. So today I'm going to share with you some pumpkin picking, storing, and decorating ideas with a DIY wreath, with a DIY front mat, some other decorating ideas for outside. So let's get started. We're so lucky to have an adorable little pumpkin farm just down the road from us. And at the end of every August, you can go and pick your favorite pumpkins. So we picked some of our favorite varieties. The green ones are called girondelles. The white ones are Cinderella pumpkins. There's some orange jack-o'-lanterns and there's some orange pie pumpkins in there as well. And then we grabbed some of those little white baby jack pumpkins too. It's so fun to go support a local small farm, and it's such a fun tradition at the end of every August. Here's how I clean and cure my pumpkins so that they last longer. I have a bucket of 1 gallon of water. I put about a 1/4 cup of bleach in there. If you want to eat the pumpkins, you probably want to use something more food safe. You could just use some fruit and vegetable wash. And then I wash all of the dirt off of the pumpkins, and the bleach here is going to help kill any of that bacteria so that the pumpkins are able to survive a little bit longer on display. And then what I do is I let my pumpkins sit in the sun for 1 or 2 weeks so that they harden. This is called curing, and I learned this from the pumpkin farmer. So when you first grab a pumpkin off of the vine, it has a really fresh looking stem and skin that you can easily poke, easily make a mark in. But when it is cured, it's going to have this drier looking stem and skin that is harder. So that's going to help the pumpkin last a lot longer. And then when you bring it inside, you could keep it for a few months inside until you want to cook it or carve it. All right, now it's time to make a DIY wreath for the front door. You guys probably know that I love recycling all of my wreaths over and over. So I had this large grapevine wreath from the spring, I think, and I took all of the flowers I didn't want off of it, left some of the greenery, and I'm just kind of experimenting with faux flowers and things I already have on hand. So I didn't purchase anything to make this wreath. This is all just recycled stuff that I had. I was inspired by the colors of the pumpkins, the orange and the blue greens, so I decided to make that my theme for the wreath. I had this faux pumpkin from Dollar Tree a few years ago, spray painted it copper. These orange blossoms are from Michael's, and these turquoise ones are from Michael's, I believe, as well, from like 5 years ago. Still love them and use them. And then I had some smaller pumpkins from Dollar Tree, the little white ones, and then all the other faux greenery is from Michael's over the years as well. And there is my finished fall wreath for the front door this year. I put it on this copper colored wreath hanger, and I love how it looks against the new color of our front door. I think this combo is so pretty, the orange and the lighter minty greeny blue. So here's how our porch is looking now. We have the wreath on, but now we're going to go ahead and decorate the stairs. I love decorating stairs for the fall. I wanted a fresh new doormat, but I didn't want to pay a lot. So what I did is I bought a little mat from Dollarama, that's the dollar store here in Canada, and then I grabbed an image off of Cricut Design Space, and it's a cute little autumn vibes image. And I have the stencil vinyl. I will leave a link to all of these products if they're online down in the description box below. And I'm taking my Cricut Explorer and cutting the design on this stencil vinyl. Then what I'm doing is I'm pulling away all of the lettering so that I can create a stencil. Now you do not need a Cricut or any sort of cutting machine to make a mat like I'm doing here. There are a couple of other methods that you can use to create a stencil, and I'm going to make sure to leave those down in the description box below just so that you know that you don't need a cutting machine to do that. I did a video last year or the year before on how I made a mat without the Cricut. It turned out really well as well, so know that you don't need a Cricut to make this, but it definitely is handy to have one, and I love that I can get the really crisp lines with the Cricut because it cuts it so perfectly. Then I made sure I cut my two set pieces of the stencil so that when I put them together, the words lined up nicely. Now I'm taking what's called transfer tape and putting the stencil on that so that when I transfer this design onto my rug, it's all perfectly lined up and the insides of the letters are in the right spot. I'm using this Cricut kind of flattening tool to make sure that everything's sticking, and then I'm removing off the backing of the stencil. This mat I got at Dollarama. It was $2, and now I'm just placing the stencil on top and removing that transfer tape. Like any textured mat, it might be a little bit tricky to get your sticky stencil to stay in place, but just take your time and remove your transfer tape nice and slow, and it should stick eventually. I'm using Fusion Mineral Paint in Coal Black. They sent me a sample a while ago, and I really like how this paint is a little bit more liquidy than a regular chalk style sort of paint, but it has really good coverage. Then I'm taking a stencil brush and I'm just dabbing the black colored paint in my stencil. I use 2 coats of the paint for my rug. You might have to use a different amount depending on the paint and the rug that you're using. Then at the end, once everything's dry, you can simply remove the stencil. I'm using a little tool here to remove the insides of the letters. I also recommend using a very thin clear coat once you're finished and spraying that on top of your rug so that the paint stays. I have made rugs in the past where I didn't use a clear protective coat, and eventually that paint is just going to wear away. So back on our porch, I put down this really light textured rug that I've had for a few years, and then on top of that, my new Autumn Vibes DIY rug. And of course I had to style new pumpkins all around that and take a photo because I just love photos like this. We grabbed some mums from Walmart. They were $7 Canadian each, just 2 orange ones and 2 white ones. And my 6-year-old really wanted to help style the stairs for fall. She has a great eye. She's really good at arranging things. So she arranged pretty much all of the pumpkins. I only did a couple, as you can see here. And I actually didn't feel the urge to move things around after she was done. She did such an adorable job and put all the pumpkins in the spots that she thought looked good, and I liked it too. And isn't that the fun of decorating for the seasons, to involve your kids? I love that she had a good time. I grabbed these wood slices off of Amazon. I will leave a link in the description box below, and I am placing them underneath my pumpkins so they're not sitting directly on our cold slate. If you remember my pumpkin porch stairs video from last year, I was talking about how the pumpkin farmer suggested not having pumpkins on the cold slate because they're going to rot easily. I put some other wood underneath, and most of you guys hated that I used just wood scraps. So this time I thought I would use something a little more aesthetic, and I do love the look too. Near the stairs, I'm just moving some of our faux boxwood around, and I'm also using the planters I had in the summer. I don't know how long we'll be able to keep these out before it frosts here, but I'm going to enjoy them outside as long as we can. I'm taking these twinkle lights and I'm wrapping them all around the pumpkins and the mums on the stairs, just because we wanted kind of a magical look at night. These are battery operated, and I think they add such a pretty touch to the pumpkin stairs. So here's how our front entry looks now, and as you can see, we have those little wood slices under the pumpkins to help them stay nice and fresh. Now on this side of the porch, I kept things pretty simple. I just added some decorative pillows to our little outdoor seating area. There's one from Rifle Paper Co. and the other one is from Giant Tiger. That's a discount store here in Canada. And the curtains are from Giant Tiger as well. And I have some little LED battery operated lights here too. I also added this faux flower arrangement, and I added an antler shed and a candle here as well. And this table here was a DIY. I'll make sure to leave that link in the description box below if you want to make kind of this rustic farmhouse table / bench as well. I love how the stairs and the entry turned out here. I'm really digging the classic fall colors with that little pop of blue and green. The rug and the wreath turned out really well too, and I'm just liking all of this greenery here. We're gonna keep the pumpkins out here for as long as we can. I have been covering them up with blankets at night when it gets cold, and then we're gonna bring them inside when we have snow and frost, and we can decorate with them inside. Now here is how this area looks at night. Look at how those twinkle lights look. My girls love these so much. They just love how magical they look in the evening. If you're doing something similar, you could also add candles or faux candles, LED lights, anything that makes things look sparkly and pretty in the evening. Thank you so much for watching this video today. I hope you enjoyed this decorate with me. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of our front porch and which of these projects or spaces in the front porch was your favorite. I would love to know. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more DIY and decor ideas on a budget. I'm gonna leave some more videos that I hope you will love and watch next right up here.